Spinning eyes like fire. Nemo's got the mic dressed in that tire. Andrew in the beat, spinning the wheel. Camera's rolling, it's all for real. Who's the guest today? Who's the guest today? Record spinning, always winning. Right, 'cause Nemo questions spinning. Andrew called the shot, don't miss the frame. Hobby hooligan, what's your name?
Hey, hobby hooligans, welcome to Ashtabula Hobby Talk. I am Nemo, KE8PBL, president of Amigos Radio Club, Ashtabula, an amateur radio enthusiast. And guess who's back?
Hey, it's me, Rikus, from Captain's Comics, your friendly neighborhood comic book store, North Kingsville, Ohio. I'm the owner and comic book enthusiast.
Hey, man, welcome back. Sorry you had a family emergency. I'm glad everything worked out for you, though.
Yeah, I was here at the studio. I was ready to go, and then I was like, you know what? I just got this message. I got to go.
It's fine. We covered for you. Me and Andrew sat down and had a good long talk about amateur radio.
Awesome.
As long as everything worked out, I know you sent us a message, said everything was okay.
Right. And I had some things I left for you guys to mention at the end. And I
hope I said it all right.
We'll go through that at the end of the show.
All right. Because I'm like, man, there's a lot here with the contesting. And
there's a contest going on, and I'm excited to reveal some information of how we're going to do that and still involve our show.
Sweet.
So we'll get into that later.
All right.
But
all right.
We got a guest.
Yeah, we do. And a returning guest at that. And let's bring him in, I guess, to studio. Dan from DMG Scale Models. Thanks for coming back on the show, man.
Welcome, Dan.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Hey, so you when you left, you were working on a Camaro?
I don't think it was just
actually I was actually working on a Chevelle, and it's like you said, not just any Chevelle, it's the John Wick Chevelle from the John Wick movie series.
Awesome. Very cool.
Yeah, it was the car that was his transitional car when he got his Mustang stolen and then went and got it back, then he wrecked it. So basically he used this car as transportation. One thing I will say is, do not never loan John Wick your car. You'll get it back in a heap.
Well, I wouldn't be worried about loaning him my car. I'd be worried about hurting his dog. If you hurt his dog, then...
I'm a dog lover, so I have nothing to worry about there. So,
Yeah, absolutely. So, man, that's a great car. And what a thing. That's you got to... I'll hold off on what I think you should build next, but that's okay. So tell us a little bit about it. How did it differentiate from building other cars that you made? I saw some of the pictures you were posting up online, and I noticed you didn't use like the wire trick. Did you do something else there with the motor?
Oh yeah. Well, a lot of times I'll wire the engine with the ignition wires, the spark plug wires, and try to detail under the hood on the vehicles. I actually have the model here, and you can actually see the detail of the engine. There's engine wiring, the battery, some various cables and underhood pulleys, as well as master cylinder and stuff like that. Usually model cars are pretty much representation of the real thing, and trying to build them realistically. A lot of model car kits do not come with things like wires or any underhood accessories. A lot of guys that build model cars and enter them in contests and all that will use resin printed parts, the laser etched or photo etched parts, or they'll be creative. They'll use flocking for the interiors, to simulate carpet. So there's a lot of things that you can do to bring a box stock, as they call it, straight out of the box model kit to look more realistic.
Has anybody considered using 3D printed parts?
It's actually 3D printed parts are a big thing. There's a few guys, Iceman Collections. There's Model Car Video does his own resin printing for parts and sells them to us. He's got like engines, accessories, distributors, all sorts of parts, wheels,
Wow.
rims.
At this point, it's the sky's the limit. Then.
Oh yeah, these guys. I mean, 3D printing in the last few years has basically picked up and become a very large market. And
So what
plus
about
it's cheap and it's pretty much instantaneous. You get an STL file and you manipulate the STL files whatever size you need and you print it out.
going from like the the plans that come, the schematics, the plans that come with the model kits to a 3D printer? Is that something that they do, or is that you need a whole different set
So
of plans?
I haven't attempted it yet, but I do plan on it in the future because a lot of times, like I'm also currently working on a model of the Honda NSX-R. It's the Honda supercar from the 90s and early 2000s. The kit, very nice kit. I mean, very detailed, except it came with basically a molded in engine. And when you get cars like that, you can cut those parts out and replace them with the 3D parts for more realism.
Well, that's a good car. That was a great car. I like the
Yeah,
Prelude out of the sports car line
let me
from
grab
Honda
it for
better, but
let me grab it for a second. It's kind of in process, but this is kind of what you kind of get here. Here's the body. I did this is clear coated and polished, and that's ready for me to put the windows and other little doodads onto the body. We'll set that back there. This is the interior. Now, as I was saying, I don't know how well you could see it,
I can see it
but
pretty good. Yeah.
I use I use a flocking material to simulate the carpet. And like I said, the engine was molded in, but some creative detail painting brought out the details and gives it a little more realism.
Oh, for sure.
And then, of course, this is the chassis. So that's your underpinnings of the car. You have, your front suspension, your rear suspension, your exhaust, and the bottom detail of the engine and half shafts and all that. But yeah, so this, like I said, is in process. I'm working on the video and allowing stuff to cure up, and actually waiting for this to finish fully curing, so that way I don't leave fingerprints in the paint. And
We'll look forward to having you on when you get that one finished up. You got a little presentation for? I know you were gonna. We were gonna try and
oh
get you to
yeah,
get it over to us digitally, but to
oh
talk
yeah,
about the John Wick car.
yeah. This is a little slideshow I put together for you. Let me see if I can get things going right here. All right, it's hard for me to see, but nonetheless. All right, so that's my logo for my channel. Usually with you start off, I introduce you to the
Give
model
us
kit
go
itself.
down just a little bit there. Yeah, like right in there. Perfect, right there. If you
Yep.
can get it in there.
All right. And then I usually start with assembling the engine because usually that's pretty much the first step in most model kits instructions is the engine. I'll separate the parts that I need. Then I'll assemble it, paint
Oh,
it,
wow.
put the wires to it, and that's ready for installation. The wires are Gopher Racing wires, a pre-made distributor, and wires that you can use on pretty much any V8 engine. And then I'll go start to prep with the body. The body prep, usually you want to sand away any mold lines, and you want to kind of carve out the what they call the panel lines, or the doors and the trunk lines, so you can see them better. Then, of course, I'll use some primer. I like to use Tamiya's fine surface primer. This is a fine surface primer in gray, and I'll put that on, give it a couple coats. I'll give a little wet sand to it. Probably use like 1,000 to 2,000 grit sandpaper just to get the primer nice and smooth and ready for the top coat. And then here's the top coat. This is a Createx Phthalo Green that I applied with my gallery airbrush. Took about several coats of this, and I gave it like about usually somewhere between 3 to 5 days cure time. Then I'll apply all the decals. Like here's the stripes, and there are other decals like door handle decals and marker light decals and other decals that go on kits. Every kit has various sets of decals. Then I'll clear coat it. With this, I used the Kaleido gloss varnish, and then usually I'll do about 3 coats of that. I'll let that cure up for about 3 to 5 days, and then I'll wet sand any imperfections, because with painting, sometimes dust can fall in, or you get a little orange peel where the surface just looks a little rough. By wet sanding it, you smooth the paint surface. You take some polishing compounds, and then you can get a really nice finish like this. I also put metal trim around the windows to simulate the window trim. And here I've also installed the interior window glass. Now this is the interior. You have the detailed dash and all the console bucket seats. I basically used Tamiya's semi-gloss black for this interior. The kit also came with decals for the dashboard and the radio and other interior doodads. And here the interior gets installed into the body. And then you put on like your front grille. You can see a little underhood detailing that I've painted out that was molded in. And then this is the chassis. You have, your engine is mounted into the chassis. You have your wheels attached, your exhaust, and then I've painted the gas tank and done some separation of a flat black for the base, and the frame rails are a gloss black to make differentiations between the two. And then you kind of just pop the body onto the chassis. Most of the times, if you do it right, it'll fit on there securely and you won't have to glue it. Sometimes, you put a couple dabs of glue just so that way it doesn't separate on you. And then you put the back bumper on, and that was a decal, and then the chrome tips on the end. And then there you go. You have the finished kit.
That's awesome.
Man, it almost looks like a real car.
Yeah.
Now,
I mean,
correct me if I'm wrong, but you put a time lapse video on your channel, right? Of this?
Yes, I did. This you can find this video on my channel, DMG Scale Models, and I have like at least 59 other videos on there of all various builds. I build like more than just model cars. I've built some spaceships, some warplanes. I did a little snap together pirate ship, stuff like that. Because I've always liked building stuff as a hobby. When I was a kid, had started this hobby, and like I had mentioned to you previously, that this whole thing with the starting building models again, along with the YouTube channel, was actually inspired by my son. He bought me a model car when the pandemic hit and I got laid off, and I cleaned everything, fixed everything, and I'm bored out of my skull. He goes, "Dad, what about that model car I bought you for Christmas a couple of years ago?" I thought, well, yeah, let me take a look at this. And so I built that kit, and it actually is a Dodge Challenger. And this was a kit that I had built in May of 2020. during the pandemic. Pretty much I didn't detail the engine on this, and plus this is where I was kind of honing my skills on a lot of building because, like I said, I hadn't built a model car in years. And when I put this one together, I did a lot of learning curves. Like, you're supposed to paint the transmission tunnel, and clear coating was kind of a myth to me back then. I just kind of used Model Masters gloss paint, and that was that. And like I said, over time, I have quite an extensive collection of cars.
That's usually how hobbies first start out.
Yep.
Something small, something
Yep.
something to ignite the flame.
Oh yeah, like these are pretty much all the cars featured on my channel.
Wow.
Yeah. This is a 32 Ford. I actually won second place at the Autorama with that. And then here's the 67 Chevy Impala. That was also an award winner. And
Gran
like I
Torino in
said,
there.
various spaceship models, Star Trek Enterprise, X-Wing fighter, Millennium Falcon, small versions. So a lot of different things that I've built over the years. I also have these are the Bandai kits of anime characters. I'm sure you might recognize Vegeta and Goku. And there's that pirate ship I was talking about. Well, yeah, it's been a very enjoyable hobby for me. And the YouTube channel was basically Jack McCarthy's suggestion. Because when I was building that Challenger, I kept showing him pictures of it. I was like, hey, he goes, oh, cool, I like model cars. And he's like, you should make a YouTube channel. And I was like, a YouTube channel? How do you do that? And so I had a Google account, allowed me to set up a channel on YouTube. And so I made a slideshow video of that build. Actually, that's the second video on there because the first video that I made, excuse me, was of this Plymouth Hemi Cuda. And I had built this kit when I was a teenager. Not this particular kit, but the kit that this came from. I had built this when I was a teenager. I used to build model kits so I could go to the Autorama when it was down at the Cleveland Convention Center. You'd get free admission for bringing in a model car, and they would give you a ticket to come back and pick up your car. So I won like third place award for youth, and so that was kind of my thing, was to slap together a model car before the Autorama, go to the Autorama, and then walk around Autorama pretty much for free.
So
Those were the
I
days.
see with the car that you just built with the John Wick car, you used you put some stuff in there to simulate metal trim. What'd you use for that?
Bare metal foil. That is a very thin sheet of foil that has an adhesive on one side of it. It's like super thin. Let me see if I can bring up a sample of that. I know I keep grabbing this thing. I got to get a better camera mounting system here. But yeah, bare metal foil is what a lot of guys use, modelers use. That would be this stuff right here. And notice how it's thin metal strips.
Yeah,
It's
so you could do
thin metal
all
strips.
the chrome trim with that.
Yep. Yeah, you cut it in. Some guys will cut it into thin strips, and you basically cut it into thin strips, apply it to the surface, use a Q-tip to burnish it down. You can use an X-Acto knife to trim it exactly into place. And it simulates chrome trim very well. I've even used it a couple times when I've screwed up a bumper, and I put it on there, and it blends with the chrome kit bumpers very well too.
That's
A lot of
cool.
times I'll use other tools, such as a chrome pen. I have this chrome pen. I got this from Hobby Lobby because it's got a fine tip on one end and a wider tip on the other end. That you can use also for chrome trim, but the only problem with this is it's once you use it, you don't want to handle it a lot because it'll dull the finish.
Gotcha.
And you can't really clear coat it because if you clear coat it, then it will pretty much dull as well.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, so it's like I said, there's a lot of different things that people use to simulate real stuff on a model car. Photo etch parts are another one. Like, the chrome badging on cars that you see, say, like on Chevelle, they have little thin sheets of metal that you cut out and can attach with some type of either super glue or a acrylic adhesive, and that looks like a realistic badge on a car.
So that's actually pretty cool. But there's a whole lot to that. Absolutely. I noticed you said decals a lot, and I noticed on a bunch of your models, you're like, oh, decal. As I'm going back to your video, is there a point where you feel like you're gonna transition from decals to like actually trying to paint the whole thing out?
Well, you got to be really careful with decals because sometimes, basically, decals are printed onto a very thin mylar film, and if they're factory decals, which come with the kit, they're, you can cut the paper around them, dip them in water, and then they're called water slide decals. You just slide them onto the surface. Now, a lot of times people use setting solutions like microset or microsol. Microset helps you position the decal, microsol helps mold it into place. So that way it conforms to like irregular curves. Like on this John Wick model, this hood has some irregular curves to it. And when I put the decal down, it didn't set exactly flat. I would use this microsol, and the microsol would soften the decal so it would conform to the surface.
Gotcha.
That way,
So, but
it
no,
looks like this looks like it's painted on.
it does,
That's kind of the whole thing with
and
the
that's what I was
decals.
asking. Like, that's what I was asking. Like, do you have plans to progress or to move past using the decals and actually like paint it like
Yeah,
shop paint it?
I haven't been brave enough to try it yet, and I mean, I know I could do it. It's I have plenty of masking tapes to use and all that. I've actually, when I built the '57 Chevy Nomad, it came with flame decals, and I was like, okay, those decals were a pain in the ass to put on. I mean, I managed to do it, and it turned out fairly decent. I mean, this kit was a very difficult kit. Didn't fit together well. It was an Atlantis kit that had old mold. It was an old mold, and most of the parts were, a lot of flash. But you got the decals, the flame decals. Now, there's companies out there that they sell masking kits so that way you can paint your own flames on. And it's they call it the lazy mask flame set, and it basically mimics those flames. You put them on there, you spray your colors on there, you peel the masking off, and it leaves behind really nice flames. And, like stripes, I've seen guys like the AC Cobras. They'll build that car. You know how that usually has dual stripes on it. They'll
Yep.
mask off and they'll paint the stripes, separately instead of using the decals because it does look better. You know, And like I said, I haven't been brave enough to try that. but that's something I'm planning on doing in the future. I mean, I've gotten a better airbrush setup, a more usable acrylic paints. Because trying to steer away from solvent-based paints, is bad for the atmosphere, bad for my lungs. I do take proper precautions when spray painting. I mean, this is kind of like my spray paint booth right here. This
That's
is
cool.
vented. Yeah, this is vented to the outside window. There's a little vent, and it goes right out to the window. So that way, I don't have any paint fumes gassing out the room.
That's
And
important. And obviously, you probably wear
yeah.
a mask and goggles
Oh
or
yeah,
whatever else.
I usually use like a paint respirator, you know, for, even for acrylic paints, you want to use some kind of respirator because you're still, spraying fine particles,
Right.
so even though, it's acrylics are safer, you don't want to breathe the particles in because, that shit sticks in your lungs. And, like to be able to breathe.
Breathing is
You-
good, especially first thing in the morning when you get
Yeah.
out of bed.
So, like for all our
Yeah,
audiences
well,
that are looking in to get into the modeling hobby, what would you advise them to their first kit to be? Some like a brand name, or and what kind of enamel paints would you recommend?
well, you have Revell, you have AMT. Round two is picking up a lot of older kits because, like, you have MPC, Revell, and AMT were three of the big manufacturers back in the day, and they still are to an extent.
Where could you
Um,
find those at?
those you can go to places like Hobby Lobby, Michaels. You can order them online. Usually like from Hobby Link, or you used to have Mega Hobby, but they are going to be closing in January of 2026. They're kind of
Oh, that's
winding down,
unfortunate.
I guess. Yeah, it was a very nice place. You could get a lot of stuff there. They had paints. Speaking of paints, there's a whole world of paints. The old testers paints, that come in the little 2-ounce bottles. Those are enamel based, something like this.
Oh, I
Yep.
remember those. Those were a pain in the butt to
Yeah,
work with when I was
these,
a kid.
Yeah.
these are the old familiars. A lot of guys used these back in the day. I mean, it's
Well, I think that was all
and
you
then
had back then.
yeah, and then you also like the old school model glue
Yep.
in the tube.
Yep. The, you
You
got
know,
it all over
this stuff,
everything and it ruined
yeah,
your
that stuff's
model.
crap. That stuff's crap. You have crayon-like glues like this. You can pick this up at like Hobby Lobby as well, or the drugstore for that matter. Any place that sells CA glue. It's a lot, easier, quicker drying. The only thing is you can't glue clear plastic parts with this because it will fog them and melt them. You want to use like a water-based glue. I have something called canopy glue, or you have this type of water-based glue. This is micro crystal clear. This is a water-based glue. It's white, but then it dries clear, and that'll help you. Um, Also, the Japanese market has come up with solvent-based thin set glues. This will fuse plastic really nice, but you got to scrape painted parts so that way you get a good bond. And then, like I said, this is kind of like my paint collection. You can see I have Tamiya paints. I have
Nope. You got a finger.
Createx.
All we can see is your finger.
There we go.
There
Okay,
we go.
all right, let's try that again. All right, so we have Tamiya paints, the Createx paints. I'm currently trying out some of this Kaleido paints from the airbrush manufacturer Gallery. This is like my spare ones. I have model color paints from Vallejo. And like I said, this is the latest, greatest right here. This stuff is from Gallery. It's called Kaleido Paints. It's a water-based paint. It doesn't need to be thinned. It can be used straight in the airbrush. And that way you don't have to mix it or anything. You use it straight out of the bottle. Most paints like this Createx stuff, you have to kind of thin it down to shoot it through an airbrush.
Gotcha.
Usually using something like what they call the reducers.
So no rollers.
Right.
No paint rollers on the model kits.
Yeah, I remember going to Kmart and Walmart when I was younger and seeing a wide selection of models and paints and things like that.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then they slowly started fading away, and
Yeah,
it was really hard for me to find any
Yeah.
models or paints. But then the pandemic happened, and then all that stuff's back in the stores again.
Yeah, you used to be able to go into like
Oh,
Walgreens
yeah.
and Drug Mart, where any of those places
Right.
and find them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Drug Mart has a selection of model kits and model paints and stuff like that. There's a place called Doki Doki here in Lakewood. Now, like I said, I like to use, honest to God, Tamiya paints. They sell Tamiya paints there. I went there because usually I'll go to Depot Train and Hobby over on West 130th Street. We call it the old man model shop because it's an old guy. It's basically, it looks like a house in a business district, and he's got two levels. He sells a lot of train accessories. He does sell model kits. He sells a lot of army and war stuff like that. And I'm waiting for him to try to get me the robot from Lost in Space because there's a model kit for that. And I've been
That
wanting
would
that
be
freaking
cool.
model kit. I've been wanting that freaking model kit for
Wait,
a year now.
which one from the classic 1660 series or the new movie?
Yep. Danger, Will Robinson, that one.
Danger.
You know?
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm waiting for him to get that back in stock. He said, I put it on order. I'm just waiting. Because, of course, now with all the bullshit going on with the trade and all that, everything's slower to get here. You know,
Yes,
so
yes,
I
it
don't,
is.
you know, I don't delve too much into that nonsense, but I'll be honest with you, you know, one thing affects another and so on and so forth. So, you know, patience is a virtue.
I get you on that. I mean, just from the amateur radio hobby, everybody who's doing their upgrades through all this stuff, the government shutdown, everybody doing their upgrades, anybody testing for a new license, because it's all got to go through the FCC. They're not processing new licenses and upgrades. And if you got your license renewal, there's a whole lot of back and forth. My understanding is you're allowed to continue to use your license until the FCC reopens, but then you have to immediately renew your license. There's a whole bunch of goofiness going on back and forth with that.
It's a money grab. Everything's a money grab. Everybody wants $1 million to play football, you know, and it's pretty much, you know, you want it, you got to
I can
pay
think of a
for
few
it.
roads that need fixed before a new stadium out your way, man. Let me tell you that.
Yeah. But anyways, like I said, you know, a lot of suppliers out there is get back to Rika's earlier question. You know, I would recommend sticking with the name brand model kits. Usually they have different scale levels. Like they'll have level 2, level 3, level 4, depending on your skill level. And you know, there are snap together kits out there that work really well. There are other, you know, like I said, more advanced kits. You know, they'll all have some kind of like scale rating on them. You know, and you know, for like somebody first starting out, I'd say level 1 or level 2 because you know they basically just want to put something together. You know, they're not gonna detail the hell out of it. They just want, ooh, I think this would be cool to have, and I think I can build this. You want to, you know, kind of build it, you know, Each comes with instruction sheets. Read the instruction sheets before you start any model, so that way, you just don't go in there blind. And it also gives you paint guides, if you want to paint your model or any details. And
Okay.
as far as paints go, like I said, you can even use craft paints. Those are the acrylic paints you buy at Michael's or Hobby Lobby for like $1. This stuff works really well. I mean, you
I
can
got
thin
some
it
of that
down
laying
with a little
around.
bit of, yeah, you can
You
thin it
gotta
down
use
with a
fix
little
it
bit of
on that.
water. Say what?
You gotta use fix it on that when you're done. Then
No, you just kind of like let it dry, you know, and I mean, I use it for smaller detail stuff. There have been a few cars that I painted the body with it through an airbrush. You got to kind of like thin it down. Um, I've actually, some model people on the YouTube use something called future floor polish as a clear coat that you can brush on after you paint. And it's the stuff you put on your floor can be used as a clear coat. And I've even, like mixed some of the future clear with the craft paint to thin it down to make it spray through the airbrush. I've had some reasonably good success with it. A couple cars that I painted was a '69 Chevelle. Has a custom mixed garnet color that I used folk art paint.
there you
And
go.
then I brushed on the future floor polish, and it's held up. I mean, the bad thing about using the future floor polish though is over time it will yellow and sometimes kind of craze a little bit. Get those little fine lines like spider lines in them. So I don't really recommend using that. But if you're going to use craft paint, you can just thin it with just plain water, or they have like craft paint mediums. I have a bottle of that stuff, but yeah, you can thin it down and brush it and get this stuff Liquitex. You can mix that to thin down craft paints, and it still retains its adhesive properties.
All good advice.
And,
I think this winter I
yeah,
might, if I have the time off of work and some time at home, I kind of want to hunker down and build my own model. But I haven't found the right model. I've been looking around for the past couple of years, and I
yeah.
haven't found. I'm looking for a Mini Cooper,
A
and
Mini
I
Cooper,
Oh,
that'd be
Mini
yeah. Well,
Cooper,
of
huh?
course.
right.
Yeah, that could be a tough find. I mean, but with the advent of 3D printing and all that, and resin printing and resin casting, you can probably find somebody that can make the body in parts and
I
assemble it.
haven't thought about that.
But for a novice, I would probably not recommend
Yeah,
messing with resin stuff because that
right.
stuff can be quite brittle and you know it's very difficult to work with. My son's worked with resin casting. He's good at it. I ain't messing with it. 3D printed parts, those are better, but still they come on a sprue that you have to like cut it, you have to file it, you have to, basically you have to craft it into what you want.
Well, if you find a brand name Mini Cooper along your hobby exploring,
Oh yeah, like I
uh,
said, I would check Hobby Link.
No, something's wrong there. Why didn't it do
I said, "Hey Jeremy, what's your favorite car?" And he goes, "A Plymouth Superbird." And I'm like, "Oh, this should be easy to find." There's like, bullshit. That was hard to find. I had to go on eBay and I found a seller, Mike's Millions, happened to have an old vintage kit for the Superbird. And I had, like, this is like a kit from the 80s. So it was a 40-year-old kit, and it was sealed in the box and all that, which worked out really nice. And I assembled it for him, and I put it in a case for him, presented it for him on his birthday. I mean, on my YouTube channel, again, there's the video for Jeremy's car build. And actually, let me see if I can pull up my YouTube channel here, or at least pull up YouTube. Let's see. Computer Savvy Dan.
Who'd have thought?
Hey, I've been messing with computers since the trash 80, man. So,
Oh, I know. Me too.
Tandy 5000 was what I started on.
Yep.
Or was it 1000?
I'm gonna turn this. You're gonna be able to see. I hope.
There it is, DMG
It's
Scale
the
Models.
Yep. And there's the Superbird. Here's the recent Plastic Undercover show that was sponsored by the North Coast Automotive Modelers. And this showcases all the builds. I've submitted the John Wick Chevelle. And it was, pretty nice. I mean, you kind of get an idea of the videos. But yeah, it's, I mean, I have currently, let's see, how many subscribers do I have?
I'm one.
679 subscribers with 59 videos. So if you're bored and want to look and see what some old guy built, then that's the channel for you.
Well, hey, that's
Yeah.
not quite what we're about, but that is what we're about. So absolutely,
It's a hobby.
it's a hobby,
And,
and it doesn't matter how old you
The
are.
Yep, the hobbies, all the videos, because I've worked with Nemo in the past doing video production. I've also worked at Channel 19 as part of the video studio crew. And so I've always had interest in videography, and I love video editing. I put together the kits and say hi, Simba. Yeah, Scram. He's a good boy. But yeah, I use the Clip Champ editing program that came on the computer. It's a very nice program.
Just the free one that came with your machine. Yeah.
I use the free aspect of it because I'm a cheap bastard. And basically, it gives you pretty much, you remember the old Adobe programs we used to use.
Yep.
I miss
pretty
those.
much.
I was spoiled and I started out on Adobe, and what was the Sony? Sony had one. I can't remember what that was.
Again?
So it works out really nice. It's a really nice program. I've got to say, I'm quite impressed with it. I mean, like I said, I like the Adobe programs. They were, very nice. The Adobe Premiere. I've used when I worked at a security job, they had me going out and filming instructional videos, and I used Adobe Premiere Elements to place my to do the videos. And so always, linear editing, is kind of fun, kind of aggravating, but for the most part, the end product looks really nice. I mean, I remember we, like I said, Nemo and I did video.
I don't. Hold on, Dan. Hold on. It's not you. It's my phone keeps shutting off the hotspot. Yeah, my hotspot keeps shutting off for some reason. Well, yeah, but our production computer is tied to that.
Well, this
It
will
won't
be
let me turn it back on.
this will be taken care of once we.
Yeah, in the new studio, we won't have to worry about that anymore.
Hardwired.
We'll be hardwired.
There you go. Hardwired to self-destruct.
Well, let's
We should probably wrap it up a little bit.
yeah, let's wrap it up. Let's get one more shot of that beautiful John Wick car.
Now, was it the movie or the car that made you want to do the model,
Again.
or was it a combination?
It was both actually. I really wanted to do the Mustang that was in there, but that kit wasn't released. This is an AMT kit, 1/24th scale. They've used this iteration of Chevelle's for more than just this. Like they got one that you ever watched the movie Dazed and Confused? One of the first movies with
Yep.
Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
He had a 70 Chevelle that he called Melba Toast.
Yep.
And it was a black SS with a 454. So it was very this is a very nice kit. I mean, it went together well. I mean, you got your underneath detailing, you know. It
I've seen
sits
the
pretty
movie.
nice.
I've seen the movie John Wick. I've seen the movie Dazed and Confused, and I also seen the movie Tommy Boy, which had Tommy
I
Boy
love Tommy
sitting there
Boy.
with some models and just kind of destroys them. And I
Yeah.
bet you someone like you can just cringe and watch it like, no.
And the corner goes,
It's a great movie.
Oh, I know,
All right.
man. You know, what a shame that guy's passed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's got a
John
brother that
can't-
looks just like him though. He should have picked up the mantle, but
He sure should have.
Yeah,
All right.
well,
we got to
you know-
kind of start wrapping things up here, man. I hate to cut you short, but
not
we
a
do
problem.
we do have a time limit.
Yeah.
All right,
right.
man.
Well, hey, I appreciate you guys having me
Hey,
on, let me yak about my models.
no,
You
it
know?
was a
Yeah,
pleasure.
not a problem at all, man. We're glad to have him, and pretty soon we'll do some after show stuff. We got some big plans coming up for the future here.
If anybody can find like a Mini Cooper model, send me
Get
a
right,
link.
us a Mini Cooper model.
Yeah.
I'll definitely keep an eye out for that for you. I do have some sources, so
I can't do
I'll have to
3D
get back to
printing
you.
because that's gonna be too complex.
Yeah.
Right, but I'm sure we can find a Mini Cooper kit somewhere. Somebody has to make one.
Maybe something from the movie Italian Job or Pixels. Replica
Fast
from
and
one of them.
Furious.
Oh, those
Any of those
those
Mini
are the
Coopers?
actual original Mini Coopers, yeah,
Yeah.
not the ones that the ones they call them the revival Mini Coopers.
Yeah, 2007, I think, when Italian Job, the remake, brought them into America more, standardized them.
Yeah, those are little cars, man. Those are cool little cars.
Yeah. All right. So we're leading up to our 100 subscribers, and when we
We're
hit
getting there.
100, what do we have for them?
Yeah. So, hey,
Oh,
yeah, definitely
congratulations.
like and share. We're getting
getting there.
close. We're moving slow, but once we get there, we're gonna have this.
I have a feeling things are
Somebody's gonna get this. The 100 subscribers are gonna get this
Nice.
shirt. And I just want to say that this Captain's Comic shirt is awesome, and I want to say how awesome it is because you don't understand. When we're showing this at the end of the show, I do this with the shirt, and I stuff it inside of this cup. And I do that every show, and I've been doing that for the last like 25 shows or whatever. And this shirt is amazing because look at how good this shirt is. You just shake it,
Oh yeah,
and it comes right out. Whoop. Shake it, and all the wrinkles
Nice.
just come right out of it.
the
the
wrinkle
letters
free,
still look
wrinkle
great.
free.
Wrinkle free,
So
good
one-
material,
Yep.
one lucky subscriber, 100th subscriber, is going to get a cup of shirt.
a cup of shirt, and
A
it's
cup
going
of
to be
shirt.
this rare, never again printed
Sweet.
shirt cup from my Wednesday night radio net that I do for the Ashtabula County community and anybody on Echolink that happens to be listening. So, and the shirt comes
Well,
any color printing.
I'm sure it'll be a worthy prize to the worthy recipient.
Well, we're waiting. We want to get through the 100 because we've got a lot of plans once we hit 100 that we're going to start
quite
executing.
a climb. It took quite a climb for me to get the subscribers that I had, you know, and I don't know
think
how the
once things
YouTube
happen, it's gonna-
algorithms work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
It's
Dan,
all
again,
on, like,
thank you.
YouTube algorithms, you know.
Yep. Eventually we'll hit it. We've got some other guests coming on the show here pretty soon and
Some really good ones.
some really good ones.
I'm
so
excited
it'll
about
be
them.
great.
Oh yeah, I
in the
saw the show
meantime,
you guys did with Jack. That was pretty cool. Jack's got
Yeah.
his own podcast, John with Jack. You know,
we'll be
and,
going on his
he's,
show on the 17th,
Yeah,
actually.
we're on
Yeah,
it. It's going to be fun.
sweet.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, like I said, thank you for having me, and I wish you much success with your reaching your subscriber goals. And you guys got a really good format. I'm pretty sure you're going to do well.
Thanks.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. And it's good to see you, my old friend.
And I like to see you in the comments. I see you comment every once in a while.
Oh yeah, I mean, you know, I do watch the videos. I mean, I work nights doing X-ray, and I watch YouTube because I got to do something while I wait for somebody to injure themselves or have freaking.
Well, keep watching us because keep watching us because we got some things in the works.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
And
Yeah, I got to get
Captain's
together
Comics.
with you, right? Get
Hey,
some talk
yeah,
about Darth Vader. There's a series of comics that I'm really interested in. Shows him when he traveled to Mustafar
Oh, yeah,
and
Right.
got his red lightsaber and everything. I've been seeing bits and pieces of it on YouTube, but I actually want that collection.
Yeah. Okay.
I know it's like a 25 volume collection, and I've
Yep.
been looking forward to getting
Some of the
that.
best stories in the Star Wars universe is told through comic books.
Yeah,
You can't get it anywhere
Absolutely.
else.
yep.
And
That's
speaking
for
of comic
sure.
books, we just got in the first appearance of Punisher and the Death of Gwen Stacy comic books, and there's been a
Nice.
huge outcry and demand for people wanting these comic books, and so we decided to have a drawing to see who can buy them, because I don't want to put it out there the first come first serve, because someone's with
Right.
is going to pick it up really quick once we put it out there, and I want to make it fair. I want people to have a fair shot of buying these comic books.
It's like getting the box seats
Well,
at the
that's
Browns game.
admirable. That
So-
sounds pretty cool.
With every visit you come into Captain's Comics, you get a free ticket you can put into one of those comic books. There's going to be 2 drawings, separate ones, one for the Gwen Stacy and one for the Punisher.
Yeah.
So what we're
Sweet.
going to do is we're going to do the drawing live on our show.
On our show.
That way everyone can see
Nice.
that it's fair. It's not, we're going to be as clear as we can, and it's going to be, so it's going to be a shout out to our show, because you have to watch the show to see who wins. Well,
Absolutely.
if the winner is not watching the show, we will contact them,
Yeah.
obviously.
Obviously. We'll have
Right.
Trinity come up and pull the name out of the hat.
Yes.
Keep forgetting which side the stupid camera thing's on.
And
Awesome.
we'll
I'm
set
looking
a
forward
time.
to that.
Yeah, we'll set a time and date for that. And so stay posted. We're going to figure out what day works for everybody.
Awesome. That ought to be cool.
Can't wait.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah. We need to make sure we promote that every day for every week until the day of the drawing.
The first appearance of Punisher, man.
Yep.
You don't get that comic book every day.
I'll tell you what, that I am not a comic book collector, but I have a small collection, and that would be one I would want in my collection if I could afford it.
Ever since I walked through my door, I've been looking at that thing, and I've kind of bonded with it a little bit. So it's going to bring a little tear to my eye when someone actually brings it out of the store.
Well, hopefully it's somebody worthy and not somebody that just enters the contest and then tosses it on a freaking shelf and forgets about it.
Oh, I think whoever wins is going to appreciate it very
Yeah,
much. They should.
Well, I hope
It's a
I
very
hope so.
prized comic book, and the price of it is really good. And we're gonna do it on our anniversary for our 4 years for
Nice.
Captain's Comics.
Yeah.
I've been open for 4 years
Sweet.
now.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah,
You made it
here's
past
a
the
sad
3-year hurdle.
story. My
Yeah.
grandfather used to be a very big comic book fanatic. When I was like real little, I'd spend the summers at his house. And he
Yeah.
had between 2 rooms a closet full of comic books in sleeves. And, I would like go in there and just read them. I'm pretty sure he had early Superman, early
Oh
Batman.
wow.
He had some early Spider-Man. He had a really nice collection.
Well, they don't make the
Unfortunately, he
stories like they
passed away.
used to.
Yeah, he passed away at the age of 57 of pancreatic cancer.
Oh
And when
no.
he passed away, the in-laws went in there and just threw it all away.
Oh, that's
They
sad.
just tossed it on the lawn. There was a comic book store that was in Lakewood that was savvy enough to have seen these boxes and snagged most of them. In the later years, when I moved into Lakewood in '98, the store was still open. And I'm looking through there, and there was my grandfather's mark on the second from last page that he put on every fucking book. And I told him, that's my grandfather's book. And the guy goes, prove it. And
Of
I was
course.
like, well, yeah, he's kind of got me there, man. But,
Yeah.
it just goes to show you how people can disrespect stuff. And I'm glad that like a store like yours and you treasure these things. You appreciate the artistry, you appreciate the storylines, you appreciate the collection. And so
Absolutely.
that's what I admire on that. So
Well,
I'm
thanks.
really you know I'm glad that you're keeping that mantle alive, because a lot of stores are just warehousing of shit, and buying and selling, and they don't, all they're doing is just make a profit to keep the doors open,
Right.
and when you got somebody who actually takes a genuine interest in comics, that's the store I want to go to.
Yep. Comic books has been my childhood, and it's been ever present in my life as I moved forward from there. But yeah,
Awesome.
thank you for being on the show, and I think that's all the time we have for today.
Yeah, that's good. And
All right,
thanks
Again,
gentlemen,
everybody
good luck.
for watching.
Thank you for having me.
All
check
We'll see
out
right.
you soon.
DMG Scale Models
Check
on
out
YouTube
Dan and DMG Scale Models. Yeah, absolutely.
and
Hobby on.
Hobby On.
Howdy on.